They've had a lot of that. They've only focused on salacious, scandal.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 boy band scandals.
Just hit me with the truth now.
For this list, we're looking at the dark stories about either the members or management teams behind famous musical groups. Did your favorite boy band get caught up in this list? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. Purity Rings, the Jonas Brothers. Although the Jo Bros may have been burning up the late 2000s, they made it clear that they wouldn't turn up the heat too much. Camp rock fans all remember when the trio's purity rings became a nationwide obsession.
It was not who we were. It was just something that we did when we were young kids. But we wore the rings through the first bit of the band starting to explode. At that point, it was already too late because it was in the media.
The jewelry symbolized their promise to remain abstinent until marriage. Additionally, it opened the Jonas Brothers up to endless questioning and scrutiny over their decision. This trend was even parodied in an episode of South Park that saw Mickey Mouse beating the brothers up for daring to take the rings off.
Rings stay on! Maybe we'll just refuse to go on stage.
I mean, they weren't far off, that's for sure.
Thankfully, no such thing happened in real life when the brothers decided to ditch them. In the end, it was clear that people were way too invested in the Jonas Brothers' private lives and choices.
Have you still got the rings, though?
No.
Because they would be worth some money now, guys. I gotta be honest.
It's a good idea, man.
Number 9. Robbie Williams' substance use disorder. Take That. Robbie Williams left Take That at the peak of their success in 1995 for many reasons. The performer had become frustrated with the lack of creative control he had within the band. He also had depression and a substance use disorder.
I used to see people talking about it on the TV 10, 15 years ago, and pull your pants up, get on with it, what they got to be, sad about.
Yeah.
And I just felt more and more isolated because I
think
thought they
that's
were
worse 'cause
right.
you were-
I thought there was something wrong with me.
While Williams managed to pull it together on stage, he almost overdosed the night before the group's performance at the 1994 EMAs. After years of ups and downs, Elton John helped get the singer to a place where he could get the help he needed.
I'm going to go to rehab. And I was like, I'm going to go to rehab. And he said, you're going to go to rehab now. And I went, I can't go to rehab now. I'm going next week. And he said, no, you've got to go to rehab now. And I said, I've got to go to rehab now.
Williams' mental and physical health greatly improved over the years. He even reunited with Take That in 2010.
We will meet you where the lights are, the defenders of the faith we are.
Number 8. Nick Carter's behind-the-scenes struggles. Backstreet Boys. Unfortunately, substance use disorder has affected boy bands on both sides of the pond. Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys has been open about his struggles.
It's definitely easy to fall into drugs, especially when you come from a family of drugs and alcohol.
According to him, the wild musician lifestyle and his relationships with social celebrities like Paris Hilton only made his issues worse. Carter majorly changed his ways after he discovered he had a heart condition.
I was able to look in the mirror at one point and said to myself, I don't want to be that person that you turn on the television and they're saying, oh, we feel really bad because, he died.
While he was trying to work through his own issues, the Backstreet Boys also had to deal with a serious financial problem behind the scenes. Their producer, Lou Pearlman, took a large portion of the band's profits for himself.
Start selling on arenas, start doing all this stuff. And we started looking at our bank accounts, and it's just like, something isn't adding up. Lou's getting paid, the promoters are getting paid.
Number 7. Zayn Malik's exit. One Direction. Does it ever drive you crazy just how fast the night changes? One minute, Zayn Malik seemed happy and fulfilled as part of One Direction. The next, he gutted millions of fans by announcing his departure from the group.
Zayn, pictured here just hours after breaking the news, told the band's nearly 37 million followers on Facebook, I have to do what feels right in my heart. I want to be a normal 22-year-old who's able to relax and have some private time out of the spotlight.
Despite Malik's initial statement, he later criticized the, pun intended, direction the band was going in. He also got into tense arguments with a few of his bandmates over Twitter.
It's just one of those things, Twitter's great for connecting with the fans, but also if you feel like saying something that you probably shouldn't, it's also good for that as well. Or bad, in this case.
Tensions between Malik and 1D have calmed down considerably since, but amped right back up in 2022 after Liam Payne dissed him on Logan Paul's podcast.
Gigi tweeted
at Jay, calling him like ugly and irrelevant, and that went crazy viral. And you know, Jake is ugly.
She tweeted something
but he's not irrelevant.
Then she tweeted something about get yourself like a respectful man or something.
Yeah.
That one didn't age very well.
Will this fan base ever know peace? Number 6, kwang-jin's exit, N.flying.
Strong with the weird mind. Kita, playgirl, this is n.flying. Out of control, children we got. Hold up, you know who we are.
In 2018, n.flying bassist kwang-jin was accused of inappropriate behavior with fans of the K-pop group. While he denied the allegation and threatened legal action, the scandal snowballed, and he had no choice but to announce his departure from the band. kwang-jin continued to insist that any interactions he had with fans outside of structured activities were platonic. After taking legal action against those that spread the negative stories about them, he announced in 2021 that he had proof the accusers had lied about what happened. Despite being somewhat vindicated, kwang-jin has yet to return to n.flying. Number 5, abuse allegations, Menudo. While this Puerto Rican boy band is arguably best known today for kicking off Ricky Martin's career, they're also infamous for their revolving door membership. There are nearly 40 past members. The reasons why each person left range from the absurd to seriously problematic.
None of us were really prepared for what it was really going to be like. There was no interest in protecting us. We felt vulnerable.
As just one example, Rai Reyes was allegedly let go because he got taller and his father had issues with management. But the biggest problem the band faced seemed to come from Menudo manager Edgardo Diaz. Over the years, he's faced allegations of assault and abuse from several former members. In the documentary Menudo Forever Young, members shared some of their horrifying experiences with the music mogul.
The reason why I did it was because I really believe that our experiences, each one of us, serves as a historic lesson of how to work with children, how not to work with children.
Number 4, Joe Jackson's parenting, the Jackson 5. While Joe Jackson was recognized for getting his children into music at an early age, stories about his parenting style were not nearly as celebrated. Michael Jackson himself alleged that he was on the receiving end of physical, verbal, and emotional torment from his father.
So he would tease you, make fun of you? Yes. Did he ever beat you? Yes.
Joe Jackson later defended himself when these claims resurfaced after his son's death. Additionally, he claimed that his parenting methods were normal for the time period.
There's a lot of people in America, Larry. A lot of people in America spank the kids, you know. If they say they don't, they're lying. They're lying.
Although Michael Jackson made amends with his dad before his passing, it's clear that they had a rocky relationship for a while.
And I just hated it. I cried every day because of it.
Your father would tease you about your pimples?
Yes, he would tell me I'm ugly.
Your father would say
Yes,
that?
he would. Sorry, Joseph.
Number 3, Seung-yi's burning sun scandal, Big Bang. When Lee Seung-hyun, aka Seung-yi, was arrested for his role in the Burning Sun scandal, it nearly blew the lid off the entire Korean music industry. The pop star had helped open the titular nightclub in 2018, but in 2019, shocking reports started to emerge about the establishment. People alleged that the Burning Sun was a place where people were harassed, assaulted, secretly filmed, could gamble, and so much more.
Interviews with the BBC with clubgoers, club employees, and the victims themselves all conclude that the abuse of women in these clubs was pervasive and often violent.
It wasn't long before Seung-yi himself started to be tied to some of the crimes that had occurred there. He eventually went on to receive an 18-month prison sentence in 2022. A few years before Seung-yi was sentenced, he announced that he would be leaving the world of music and his band Big Bang behind. Number 2, financial issues, NSYNC.
Just got paid.
Although the bubblegum boy band may have been singing about payday, the real thing was surprisingly scant. When NSYNC received their first paycheck after their big break, they discovered that the vast majority of their earnings were going to their manager, Lou Pearlman.
He was the 6th member of NSYNC, and he was proud of that fact because it was going to help us, because we wouldn't have to pay a manager, we wouldn't have to pay the record label, you know, his would come out of the 6th member. I mean, he really sold us a whole amount of goods.
While we already mentioned how he ripped off the Backstreet Boys, the manager clearly did not stop there. As Perlman was buying a mansion and kicking off his blimp business, his groups were saying bye to the money they rightfully earned.
They spend this money on your record pressing. Then you had this concert, the rent for the house. Oh, all those dinners, those lavish dinners that Lou was taking you to that you were thanking him for, that's your dinners. You were paying for it.
He was eventually accused of running a massive Ponzi scheme. Perlman was sentenced to 25 years in federal prison in 2008 and died there in 2016.
Might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie. Baby, bye, bye, bye.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Lou Pearlman grooming allegations. Various bands. Outside of being shady with finances, the 90s boy band creator has also been accused of predatory behavior towards his group members.
We kind of had people around us saying, hey, watch out for this behavior. It's kind of been out there that this may or may not be happening.
Although NSYNC member Lance Bass previously denied the allegations, he publicly called Lou Pearlman creepy in 2019.
He would do like a peck check or be like, I can manipulate your muscles.
He would tell all the guys, if we had a photo shoot or something like that, he would, he minored in physical therapy. He would always minor in lots of things.
Right.
And he could manipulate your muscles to make it look like you worked out.
Ashley Parker Angel of O-Town backed up this claim, saying he received a suspicious massage from Pearlman during his boy band days. But they weren't the first to speak up. In 2009, LFO singer Rich Cronin said on The Howard Stern Show that Pearlman offered to make his group more successful in exchange for certain favors. While Pearlman was never charged with assault or harassment, the growing allegations continue to cast a dark cloud over the acts he worked with.
You must have nightmares about this.
I had to go through lots of therapy.